Now I am going to read a Cinderella story for you that I created with the help of AI. Again, it is a Christian version, gospel version of the Cinderella. I hope you can enjoy the story. So lay back and relax. Don't try to think with your brain, but just let the story speak to you. It's called Cinderella and the True King. Once upon a time, in a land burdened by shadows, there lived a maiden named Cinderella, whose heart was as pure as the dawn, yet she toiled in ashes, bound by the cruel whims of her stepmother and stepsisters. They were clad in finery, but their spirits were coarse and demanding, constantly reminding Cinderella of her unworthiness. Her days were a relentless cycle of chores, her nights filled with quiet prayers, whispered hopes for a love and belonging she had never known. News spread like wildfire through the land. The great King Jesus was holding a grand celebration, not a ball for worldly alliances, but a feast of grace. An invitation extended to all, rich and poor, to come into his glorious presence and experience his boundless love. The King, it was said, sought hearts that yearned for true communion, not just outward show. Cinderella's stepsisters scoffed. You go to the king's feast? Look at your rags. You are not worthy to stand in his presence. They piled her with more tasks, ensuring she could not possibly attend. But as Cinderella wept softly by the hearth, a gentle light began to fill the humble room. It was a quiet, powerful presence, the Spirit of truth and grace. The Spirit began changing her internally, enveloping her in an invisible robe of righteousness. Her weary spirit was filled with new hope, and a new courage began to grow within her. Cinderella looked down at her familiar rags, then glanced at a basin of water nearby. In its reflection, she saw not the cinder-stained servant, but a figure radiating with an undeniable, pure beauty, clothed in garments of brilliant light. This vision was breathtaking, yet also startling. She knew what she saw, but the depth of it, the truth of this new identity, felt almost too big for her to fully grasp. The Spirit whispered, "Go. The King is waiting." And so Cinderella went. She walked into the magnificent hall, not with silks and jewels, but with the quiet dignity of a soul made pure by grace. Her stepsisters, blinded by their own vanity, saw only her familiar rags and dismissed her as a mere servant, too insignificant to notice. But the king, Jesus, saw differently. His gaze, filled with infinite love and understanding, cut through all outward appearances. He saw her humble heart, her longing, the quiet strength forged in suffering. He did not seek out the successful and confident ones. He sought the broken and contrite spirit, the one who truly yearned for him. He approached Cinderella, and as his eyes met hers, her heart melted. With a look of tender affection, he extended his hand. In that moment, the bustling hall seemed to fade. He led her to the center, and as their hands joined, she suddenly became aware of a radiant, beautiful white gown adorning her. It shimmered with light, visible now to her own eyes, a tangible sign of her inner righteousness and true beauty. A deep knowing settled within her. This was who she truly was. Then he asked her to dance. As he guided her, his eyes never left hers, filled with an undeniable delight and deep adoration. In his gaze, in every gentle turn and firm hold, Cinderella felt herself being seen and cherished, valued like never before. She understood then, without a single spoken word, that she was uniquely chosen, a lily among thorns, singled out for his boundless affection in front of all who watched. Her new identity, her worth, and her beauty in his sight became exquisitely real through the rhythm of their connection. As the dance concluded and the king brought her gently back to stand, others began to draw near. Cinderella saw some bow deeply, others whisper his name with reverence, their faces filled with awe. In that instant, the full weight of his majesty, his boundless power, and his divine kingship washed over her. It wasn't just the one who saw her heart. He was the King of Kings. And she had just danced with him. A wave of profound awe silenced her. She left the feast with a humble bow, her heart overflowing with a joy so deep it transcended all words. Cinderella returned home, her heart still shimmering with the echo of the king's delight and the profound joy of the feast. But as she stepped back into the shadowed house, the familiar chill of her old life began to creep in. Her stepmother, seeing her unusually radiant yet still clad in rags, scoffed. "Back from your fantasy, Cinder Girl? Did you truly believe you belonged among them? Look at you. You are nothing but ashes and servitude, unworthy of even a glance from anyone of importance." The cruel words, delivered with such venom, began to chip away at the dazzling memory. Cinderella looked down at her hands, and the radiant white gown, so vivid moments before, seemed to vanish from her sight, leaving only her tattered, dust-stained clothes. The whispers of the past, the ingrained belief in her own unworthiness, started to drown out the king's loving gaze. She remembered the awe she felt when others bowed before him, when his true identity as King of Kings, God himself, truly dawned on her. Surely, she thought, such a glorious king would not truly choose someone like me. It must have been a dream. Too good to be true. Too good to be true. The vibrant truth of her new identity in Christ began to fade under the weight of her old self-perception.
Nights are getting colder now. Echoes haunt me somehow. Memories of your gentle touch. In my heart they hurt so much. Shadows dance upon my wall. I feel the emptiness of it all. Tears fall softly in the dark. You left me with a broken heart, and I'm lost in these echoes. A lonely heart that nobody knows. Your love left a scar so deep. In my heart it will always keep. Staring at the moon up high, wondering if you see the same sky. Whispers of our love remain, only to be washed away by rain. Time won't heal these wounds I bear. Life feels emptiness of it all, not there. Though I search in every dream, nothing's ever as it seems. And I'm lost in these echoes. A lonely heart that nobody knows. Your love left a scar so deep. In my heart it will always keep.
The very next day, a stir rippled through the land. The King, Jesus himself, was moving through the villages, drawing near to the very home where Cinderella now doubted. Her stepmother, upon hearing the news, frantically ushered her own daughters, adorned in their finest, to the doorway. "Oh, your majesty," she fawned, bowing low. "My daughters are paragons of virtue, diligent in all good works, surely worthy of your attention, entrance into your kingdom." But the king's gaze, though gentle, was unwavering. He looked past their forced smiles and outward displays. "I seek not those who boast of their own worth." His voice resonated with quiet authority. "But the one whose heart longs for my grace. I know whom I have chosen." He knew exactly where Cinderella was. With a look that conveyed his perfect knowledge, he turned his head slightly towards the darkened room where she was hidden. "Bring her forth." Cinderella, huddled in her room, heard his voice. A tremor went through her. Could it truly be him? When the door opened and she saw him standing there, in his kingly authority, yet full of tender mercy, her heart ached with both longing and lingering disbelief. He stepped into the humble space, his presence filling it with a warmth unlike any other. He simply looked into her eyes, and then, with profound tenderness, he spoke. "My love, do not listen to the echoes of a past that I have redeemed. You are worthy, not because of what you wear or what you do, but because I have made you worthy. I myself have clothed you in my righteousness, a garment no lie can ever diminish. You are chosen. I have chosen you. You are beautiful in my sight. You belong with me. He extended his hand, not to ask for a dance this time, but to claim her forever. Don't be afraid. I paid for this. Only believe. As her hand met his, Cinderella felt the full weight of his love. The vision of the beautiful white gown instantly reappeared. With him, she took a decisive step, and together they left behind the ashes and shadows of her old life, stepping forever into the boundless light of God's kingdom as his beloved bride, as his beloved bride, to reign with him in an everlasting communion. This is the end of the story. I hope it's the beginning of your story with Jesus. This is only the beginning.